around a little bit. Like if he moves it to the left, it actually could get sniped by maybe next time.
MNT not in the neighborhood to look for Alfred at the moment, but indeed OG themselves wouldn't know that. Being close there indeed. Back up towards the top. MNT will head up. Continue to scout out. Vision here, no tail. Finding good CS at the moment. The pressure from each side's offlaner hasn't been really enough to slow down the safe lane. I mean, even on that bottom lane, we're seeing Madara at 13 for 0. So despite the fact that he's had S4 and Jax in his face, the PA is still finding the farm.
Yeah, maybe next time he will lose that central ward battle. Skylark, he's trapped in the creeps.
Yeah, it's good spike carapace actually catching both of them out. MNT and Scarlet trying to turn towards No-Tail, but No-Tail and Fly should have the kill on Scarlet, but no, Scarlet Mangoes turns around with the stun, and Skylark, he's going to be able to walk it out here for the time being with the salve and the poor man's shield. He'll keep himself alive. MNT will be taken down though as OG claim first blood, but Skylark will stop himself from dying.
And Bounty Hunter just cannot wreak that much havoc in lanes because OG's lanes are just much stronger. Dazzle and Drow versus the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin can't really do anything in the lane. He can try to not get harassed.
Coming quite in close. They're not quite in tower range, but they do have another dagger here with a slow S4. Trying to get himself away, and with the sprint, he should be fine.
He has 10 stick charges, and without an Oob, it's very hard to chase that hero down.
Middle lane though, this matchup continuing to go and get harder and harder for Anna. 19 for 9 on Thug in comparison to the 10 for 3. Bottom lane again, Spartan and Madara making a bit of a play onto S4. Indeed though, with those stick charges feeling very confident, will pop them, and now S4's maybe even trying to turn this one around, heading towards Spartan. And Madara again there with a dagger to slow him down, hold S4 back, but still S4 coming forward again with the crush. Not able to quite catch out the Rubik. So S4 will be fine, but playing this off lane very nicely, keeping the aggression high, and not feeling too scared to go toe-to-toe with Venom safe lane.
And they're not scared to go on that Rubik because he doesn't have a stick in the top lane. No-Tail getting harassed out by these two melee heroes, but they can only do so much.
Yeah, especially with Fly in the neighborhood, they don't want to commit too much onto No-Tail. Knowing that the imminent save will be there from the Dazzle required. But overall lane-wise, do you feel there's a certain side that is having the better time? Is it Venom here just because of the way the mid lane and the safe lane and such is going?
I think it's OG, just because the Bounty Hunter really doesn't have a place. He's trying to find a home, either by building it from the corpses of dead chickens or getting some kills in the side lanes, but he's just finding nothing. He just narrowly misses out on that in the mid lane.
Bottom lane, S4 again. I mean, this stick, of course, being an absolutely huge purchase down here. Allowing him to kind of play himself out of death each and every time.
He doesn't have Tranquils though, so he won't be topped off. It looks like Bounty Hunter could potentially sweep into that lane and get a kill. I believe the Observer Ward dropped in the mid lane did not see Jerax, so Jerax managed to successfully bypass the Bounty Hunter. Will be able to stack up and farm unbeknownst to Venom.
Already level 3 as well, and of course the Drow is going to help him start to clean out those camps even quicker once he starts to stack them up. Mid lane, Thug looking for the setup, MNT to come around from behind, and they will try and give Anna the right clicks down. He'll hold back the OD here with the Dragon Tail. And it's a good job as well, because Thug did have that double damage ready to go.
I really like that one stun build from Ana. You'll see a lot of 3-0-2, but in this lane, all they need to do is not feed the Bounty Hunter. Just limit his level 6 time as much as possible. Don't give Venom any kills.
This is nice though. Venom a forced TP reaction to the mid lane, and so they've sent their safe lane up towards the top lane, realizing that No-Tail is alone. Skylark with the setup, and Madara and Spartan are there with the jump in. No-Tail falling low, tries to play it off with a gust, but they will get the kill. And all in all, just really smart read of the map there from Venom.
Yeah, and that's usually a pretty big commitment, TPing your safe lane over to that off lane, as well as the support. You're leaving the Slaughter down there to get free farm.
S4 is going to find indeed that great timing with that level 6, and certainly then plays can start to happen in favor of OG. But Venom with this movement up towards the top will look to pressure the tier 1. And OG not looking to send anyone up there to stop this, so they'll be happy with getting the space down on the bottom lane. And mid lane though, MNT again kind of coming around behind the tower, maybe seeing if he can get some action onto this courier, but he's still just level 2, so it could potentially be a hard one to pick off. He's going to try for it one touch. Can he get the second one in? He can't. The boost is there.
Oh, nice. They saved the speed burst too. It's very difficult for him to get the kill if they're actually microing, but he will be able to leash a little bit of XP from Jerax. And in the top lane, they had to try and bring that tower down as soon as possible in bottom lane.
Doug, with that invis rune to set up it, but there is backup from OG. S4 and Fly are in the neighborhood. Notel trying to hold back the backup, but the gust comes through too early. There'll be a telekinesis onto S4, dragging him back. Mandara trying to focus down. Notel gets a good crit. Needs one more touch, but there's Fly with the grave, keeping Notel alive. Thug's trying to move forward, and he's got the Astra. The Astra's to finish off the kill, but Thug's now in a bit of potential danger as S4 gets the crush off onto the two of them. A Skylark is there, and with Mandara jumping across onto S4, they look to try and find a second. They do end up losing Thug. It's a 1-4 at the moment. Adfin is surrounding S4, but the stun's there. Fly's there with the heal. Skylark's taken down. Jack's getting himself a double kill. Mandara 6 stacks on him at the moment. He's in trouble as well. Fly giving Jack the vision. They'll be able to find him as well. OG crushing this attempt from Adfin on the bottom lane, and they're not done yet. Fine, amplified up. 3 stacks of napalm. He's out as well. S4 still alive, and Adfin lose the whole team. Amazing team play there from OG. I can't quite believe what we just saw. It was absolutely remarkable. And S4 survives, man.
The Dazzle pick was just so good against this sort of aggressive play. How many heals did he get off on that fight? Not only saving his teammates, but destroying
and a
the
regen rune as well. I mean, the pings come out. You lucky little bugger.
That's exactly what they're saying right now.
We're going to replay back. I mean, just look at this. Talk me through it, man.
Yeah, so many stacks up. There's not even a Blightstone on Fly, but he's just right-clicking people down non-stop. No Drought Aura to help him out, but a heal bomb right there. Just constant right-clicks, and S4, of course, juking through the trees.
Adfin quick to find some vengeance, though. Notel on his own up top. Going to try and play his way around this one. Backup is on the way, but not quite soon enough. Notel.
That's the hero they need to pick on the most. Drought Ranger like slows everyone down on the Dire side and will stall their pushes for as long as possible. Thug's struggling a little bit after that death in the bottom lane. That was a nice Astral though. He got that Astral after a Grave, and Dazzle maybe not a very common pick nowadays. I think that's one of the reasons. You just get Astral during the Grave and you'll just die immediately after. Jerax,
oh, he's got the dust. MNT, I don't think he was quite prepared for this one, and he's going to be lassoed up. Jerax putting him on the cliff, and it's just going to simply laugh in the face of MNT as he takes him down on an easy solo kill, and I think that was just a situation of not checking the back for the Dustman.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Getting a little bit careless over there. He's desperate to make something happen though. As a bounty hunter, you don't want to just like sit back and stack and defend heroes. That's not your job as a bounty hunter. It's always to interrupt the enemy's plans, disrupt them, get vision. And right now he's maybe getting a little bit of vision, but once they take these towers down, they can maybe hope to make some moves. There's so many observer wards on
from the back line though. OG could get a potential massive wraparound from the smoke. S4 leading the way, but there is backup from Adfin. Skylark in the Vendetta will be dusted up. They'll look to focus down onto MNT. They've got the vision, laid down the Amplify. That'll be the first casualty. Can they give themselves anything more though? That's the question, OG. Adfin already trying to play their way out of it though. Skylark is surrounded by S4. Anna and Fly, they beat down a second. OG making sure that Adfin get nothing out of this push in the mid lane. There'll be an Astral, but Adfin surely will think twice before moving forward, and indeed, they aren't going to make an advance.
Killing 2 birds with 1 stone with the amplified damage, it just renders Bounty Hunter and Nyx Assassin way more useless than they would be normally. And OG, also, like, the supports don't have to spend as much money on detection because the Batrider can easily, like, kill heroes. He Pop does, it's not going to be in vain most of the time. And of course, the starter with the Amplify just makes their lives so much easier. And of course, they can turn their eyes towards Roshan as it's about that time as OG start to pull ahead in this early game.
And they really do, and certainly a lot quicker than they did kind of in game one. There's this period in game one where Adfin just finding favorable early game skirmishes and rotations, but this time round, OG been ahead in each and every one, 9 for 3. The farm is still good though for Adfinim's cause, as we can see respectively. So amongst it all, they're still finding the space to keep on par.
Trying to happen, but he's a bit too far.
There's a blink on S4 now as well, so these engagements are going to be even more favorable for OG. A quick scan there from Notel just to check if MNT was hanging around himself, but MNT just out to the side. It's time to back up. He's looking for the courier, but look at this. It's a bit of a courier bait, and MNT isn't going to fall for it. He went for a touch there. The entire team of OG would have been ready to jump on him.
He knows where all of them are.
Yeah, they're going to go for a smoke. So M&T...
He knows that they're trying to rush.
Yeah,
they're picking it out.
he knows that they're going for this. So, Ad Finham, can they do anything to stop this? I mean, OG straight into the pit. You've got Fly and Jerax on the outskirts, just scouting out any potential jump in or attempt to challenge it. But Ad Finham are just going to look to split up the map and push down mid. And looks like they do not want to attempt to contest this at all. So OG getting away with this free Roshan and Aegis. And if they want to go for a fight and at a big reveal with that Blink Dagger now in S4, it's going to be very, very hard for Ad Finham to stop.
And Ad Finham will have to wait to fight another day. And when I was watching them throughout the qualifiers, one of the things that I admired the most about this team is that they were able to avoid fights for a surprisingly long amount of time. And that's going to be the case for them in this game. They need to be able to avoid fights for as long as they can without the Slaughter picking them up, without the Bat Rider picking them up, and without losing too many towers that are gyrating. The only problem is their anti-push is very, very weak. Like Rubik, if you go up to Fade Bolt a wave, you're just going to die. And aside from that, no real AoE.
Top tower is under attack.
On top lane, the push will come in from Ad Finham. They'll find the tier 1 middle. They're now looking to the tier 2 top. And OG in response, again, kind of looking for a similar transition and trade as we saw in game 1, just trading off the tier 2s. We'll fortify top. We'll see if either side is going to be able to back up in time to hold the defense.
Radiant's bottom tower.
It could just be a straight trade here between the sides. As we can see both towers pretty much going down in unison here.
Radiant's bottom
And now Ad Finham will start to back. Keeping down towards the bottom, OG with this Aegis and the newly found armor on Ana, potentially ready to go for some sort of a high ground push. And with the potential jumping here, S4 has the blink, Jerax does as well, along with the drums on the Bat Rider. A lot of initiation potential again, M&T, he's looking for these couriers, he's just not finding them this time around in this game.
Is that Observer Ward like inside the tower?
The mayor, that is. That's a little bit of an interesting placement there from Ad. Maybe in preparation if the tower did go down, trying to get it out before they pushed in, but at the end of the day, OG didn't go for this push. As they back up, feeling confident with the position that they are in this game, but still, on the net worth, Madara and Thug are in good positions. They're finding the items. It's just all going to be about finding the team fight.
Yeah, they need tracks. Maybe next time, still trying to work on his level 6. They already have used the tome on their side. But he has 0, 4, and 1, and they need some more in that kill category.
under attack.
And the question is when are they going to find it? Because again, OG pushing down mid. No tier 2 is going to be going their way, and Ad Finham still in a position where they seem unable to do anything in response to these sort of pushes. They just continue to make sure that they can keep on par with the farm game. Madara and Skylark down towards the bottom. Thug aggressively farming in OG's jungle.
They're getting their items. The PA has Dezo, so this way you can maybe just blow them up before the weave starts stacking up and before the Dazzle has time to react. That burst damage is very unpredictable and can 1 or 2 shot heroes if you're just a little bit lucky. And once they get the track kills, their problems could compound on the side of OG if they're not careful in these team fights. And towards the top lane, they're maybe setting up. Skylark wants to look for just a weak support that they can easily burst down, maybe even use Sanity's Eclipse if they have to.
Let's see what Skylark can get. I mean, he's found Ana, but that really is not the target that he wants to go on his own. He needs backup, and he does have it round the corner. We'll start to notice Ana coming away from the team, but now spotting out S4 and Jerax as well in the neighborhood. And in fact, it's OG that maybe feel they can go aggressive, but they're going to find out the Nyx Assassin. They've got the vision. Skylark in a little spot of bother, and already the rest of Ad Finham, they've left him high and dry. They're straight out of there, so Skylark will be left for dead here as OG clean up the kill.
I think he was trying to keep on to the Slaughter's tail, but I don't think he realized that his vendetta had just ended, and Slaughter just crushed him, easy kill, and they'll transition that into a smoke, trying to use the tail end of their Aegis. 1 minute on that. They would love to get some damage on that T3 tower and break a Rax.
There we go with the smoke. They've managed to scout this out as well with the scan. OG know that there's heroes in the neighborhood. MNT Gonna be clipped by the dust. They've got the vision, got the chase down, and it will be another kill into the bank of OG.
Not a very important kill. He's still very low level, so he'll respawn by the time they try and push this tower, and it looks like they will take an easier prize, the T1 on top.
A lot of push, a lot of pickoff coming out at the moment from OG. And we'll see how it changes when it comes to the high ground push, see how good Adfinum's defenses can be against this sort of lineup, this sort of aggression that OG are exerting.
Radiant's top tower.
But OG certainly the dominant force once again here in game 2.
Radiant's top tower.
And the question again, how do Adfinum start to slow down this pressure and momentum? How can they find their footing in this match?
Get some crits, level 2 coup de grace on the Phantom Assassin.
And they're eyeing up this Spartan, ready to lead in. Telekinesis, trying to bring him back, but he's forced away very nicely. No tail, Hurricane piking Ana out of range of the Nyx Assassin stun. So no one to be caught on OG. And at the least, Adfinum do stop the push onto the tier 2, but again, unable to clip any of the heroes of OG and find that kill that they're desperately hunting for to bring themselves back into the flow of this. And S4, in fact, he's hunting himself, jumps forward, gets Spartan whilst he's trying to go for the D ward. And again, it's kill after kill for OG. And we're coming to the same sort of very dry period for Adfinum in terms of finding the blood of OG, similar to that of game 1.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, they're just not conceding any kills right now, and they're taking down so many of the T1 towers that Adfinum's attempts to try and outfarm them are just not happening at the moment.
Amency thinking about trying for a bit of a deny there, but also going to get it out in time. Hurricane Pike's now done for Thug. So as we've been saying, Thug and Matter is trying to do their best to keep up in farm. Only just slightly behind that of Ana and No Tail. But with the towers going their way, they are suddenly there. And there we have it, Jarex with the Blink. So I did mention it earlier, but it was the drums he ended up going for instead of Blink. But now he's got both, Jarex.
And Adfinum need to get to that point where they...
Yeah. Can he get out of this? I mean, he's going to be knocked back by the Flame Break into the lasso. Thug has got some backup here, and in fact, Thug may be fine. Skylark and Amency turning up. Track onto S4, forcing him away. Jarex is trying to finish off the kill on Thug, and he'll find it. Blinks forward, takes down the OD, and that may not be all that they get. Matter will jump in onto the backlines, finds Fly, but now he's surrounded by No Tail, Ana, and S4 and Jarex. They've lost 3 on Adfinum. Spartan trying to TP his way back to base is only just going to make it. But once again, it's OG just decimating Adfinum in these skirmishes.
He even got a double cripple on his Dazzle. That's the only reason that he died. He wasn't able to get his grave off in time because of that. But no matter, they don't need a Dazzle with 3 heroes already down on Adfinum, all 3 of their big cores. And Spartan.
Oh, and S4, I mean, this man, no holding back for Slardar. Immediately, as soon as any option is seen, he jumps forward. No Tail trying for the TP out, and he's going to make it. Skylark can't quite get the stun in time. Tries to stun from the low ground. But my goodness, OG just getting in and out whenever they want. And very little that Adfinum are showing that they can do to stop OG's just playing this game just as the side wants.
No track gold for you as OG show a lot of reservation, just bouncing immediately after Adfinum had those super low respawn timers. Roshan number 2 going to respawn fairly shortly. Adfinum, I don't think they can contest it. Ana is very, very big. The OD's relatively big, but he is countered pretty hard by the Batrider Sar, who can easily jump him, and OD just going to be turning around in circles, trying to hit people with the Arcane Orb.
Yeah, it's been fantastic just to see this combination of S4, Slardar, and Jarex, Batrider. Just insanely good at finding pickoffs, outplaying the opponents, and making it very hard for Adfinum to do anything in return to these fights, being incredibly disruptive with a combination of crushes, flame breaks, fireflies. Almost been impossible for Adfinum to head straight into a fight against OG without Adfinum getting the favorable jump, and OG just are not letting that happen. Adfinum consistently forced back into their base. Now they'll go for the sort of place that they need to. They need to make big things happen. With smokes like this, they have to find a pickoff man.
Yeah, they have to kill, I would say, Dazzle first and then the Drow Ranger. Those are your main 2 targets if you can isolate them out. DK is just far too tanky at this point, and he has a haste rune bottle. They might run into him first, though, if they run up towards the secret shop.
Let's see, there's going to be a scan from OG. It's going to miss the smoke movement from Advenom. They're heading up to the north, but because it didn't hit anyone down south, Jarek's actually spamming around the Ancients, indicating that perhaps Advenom are coming for this route. So I think OG, they kind of realize what's going on here. They know that Advenom are going for this sort of a play, and they do reckon that they're in this area of the map. Advenom kind of waiting to see if anyone of OG steps back, but I think because of this read, OG aren't going to slip up like that and head that direction, unless they intentionally look to fight themselves.
Yeah, now the smoke has popped and Advenom have to play the waiting game, but they don't want to walk into that south area. They have wards on that high ground.
And this is the thing, the vision for Advenom around this area is very, very poor indeed. Jarek's is going to TP back up to top to clear out this big wave that's coming through. OG looking to head back. Hannah's got to be left alone though, but he's got the silver edge. And with that, he feels confident enough to head out, actually nab himself the regen rune, and into the pit. He has got a TP. He's going to come back across. Silver edge falling low. They don't have any detection down at this moment at Advenom, so Anna able to just run underneath the noses of Advenom, get himself away, and again, as we said, Advenom desperately trying to find some positive play with that smoke, but it just wasn't happening, Ben.
Yeah, they saw the ultimate orb out on the Dragon Knight earlier, but perhaps not expecting the Shadow Blade to come out so soon in the subsequent Silver Edge. And going back to the first two bans that Advenom had, they banned out the Naga and the Alchemist, as they have been a lot, but this sort of game is actually where you would really want one of those two heroes, where you want to be able to stall out this 5-man and prevent them from grouping up. And what better way to make them TP back and defend through massive use of split pushing than Naga and Alchemist.
Again, now that OG knows that Advenom will have almost certainly have headed back as a full 5-man away from that aggressive maneuver. The map is open back up around the pit. OG straight into the Roshan. And again, Advenom just not in any sort of position to head over themselves, so it's going to be more money and experience into the pocket of OG. And to secure that Aegis for No Tail. And it really has just been OG playing an incredibly clean series of Dota so far here in Game 2, leading 16-4. Advenom still missing that crucial fight that they need to swing themselves back in, and it's OG themselves that are looking to go immediately aggressive with that Aegis pickup.
Yeah, and they decided to even put it on the Drow Ranger instead of normally the Tower Seizure. I would say the DK. He has a lot of armor and he's just a lot safer to put in the front line. But doesn't matter too much for them as they smoke around.
Do they suspect this?
Back.
Do they expect this wraparound from OG Advenom? At the moment, still pushing out that lane. Madara could be in trouble. Jarex has the eyes, immediately jumps across. S4 there for the backup for this bat run and making sure that they've got a good chance to kill. They're being a little bit scarce about it. Madara's just going to go for the TPS to bash there. They don't even need it. The damage is more than enough from OG. Madara down for a good minute or so. OG with incredibly superior pushing power as well once they start to get this lane shoved down towards the base of Advenom. They've already taken all the tier 2s. You know, next on the menu will be these tier 3s, the high ground pushes. Advenom just trying to push out as many lanes as they can, but they've got a gem on fly. MNT did not expect this, tries for the straight TP out, but the damage again is too much.
They're just squeezing out all possibilities of a late game win from Advenom. We have the Slardar, he has the Midas, and then they have the gem on the Dazzle. So either like they need to try and get some split pick off so the Nyx Assassin, that's kind of shut down by the gem, or they need to take it late, which is somewhat countered by the hand of Midas on the Slardar. They're okay with the pace of the way the game is going, and even if they don't take any T3s or Raxes, they're still in a pretty good position. But this next push, what can Advenom do to stop this Drow Ranger strat from taking out their entire base?
I mean, that really is the thing. One bad fight from Advenom, and it could all be over. A bit of a messy attempt to jump in there, maybe showing the nerves and just the tension that Advenom have now at this stage because of how well OG have been playing against them. They can't afford to make these sort of mess-ups. They need to find good jump-ins. A fair bit of damage out to Anna. Of course, that track and Hurricane Pike combo is going to be very handy when it comes to this high ground pushback. OG very much ready to just shove themselves down this bottom lane. Incredibly tanky cores and are ready to hit the front lines and not feel too scared about having to take him down again. Just shoving it back with the Hurricane Pike, stealing the Intel Sit though. is starting to stack up a nice bit of solid intel, but there's the jump in. Jerax immediately with the lasso dragging him back, goes for No-Tail, holds up. The sanities will be dropped though, doing huge amounts of damage. No-Tail's out, but he's got the Aegis ready for round 2. Anna kept alive by Fly's Grave. There'll be an Astral holding him back as well, but Advenom, they're already one down. MNT trying to focus No-Tail here with the Shuriken Burst, but Anna surviving again. Just this play here from the side. Fly on that dazzle pick, ensuring that no one of OG is left behind. They don't manage to get the successful high ground siege, but again, they're not losing heroes, Ben.
Yeah, the OD building up a lot of int that fight actually made a pretty big difference. They were almost able to burst down the Dragon Knight, but what really saved them is the Slar coming in. He was looking for the Astral on the DK as he was shallow graved up, but then Slar came in and stunned the OD, and then DK got his armlet toggle off before the Astral was able to come out.
So the good news obviously for OG, they don't lose anyone. I guess in return the good news for Advenom is the fact that that was an Aegis push and you didn't lose the fight in terms of losing the base. You were able to push OG back for the time being.
Yeah, the PA was trying to farm her BKB on the top lane when she got picked off, and they're just not making any item progression. Yeah, the pushes are failing, but at Advenom they aren't getting the items that they need. But at the same token, OG, they are 5-manning a lot, so they can't maximize the farm about the map. So, Advenom not perhaps too worried. Only 13,000 gold lead, I would say that's actually not terrible considering the circumstances where they are, what, 6 towers down versus the 4 on the opposite side. This is where Drow Ranger strats hit their peak. And No-Tails also had to go for a BKB this game, maybe not necessarily wanting to, but it is the safe play versus the OD. Can't always rely on the dazzle.
You really can't at this stage of the game. You have to be very aware of how Advenom still, even though they are behind, have ways to fight around that the OG is bringing to these fights.
And all it takes is one bad fight with 3, 4 track kills, and that's just going to be a disaster. Jerax doesn't have BKB yet, so he can get counterplayed by the Nyx very easily. Even a defensive Astral on a Crush target or a Dragon Tail target could ruin OG's plans. So they can't just rush up headlong into the Radiant base and expect to win out a fight. They had to play very methodically.
And now we have OG getting ready for another push as they bring this top lane round in towards the base of Advenom. Obviously not with the Aegis in hand this time. There's some newly found pickups. Obviously Blink now complete on Anna, so he as well as Jerax and S4 can look for those jumps.
This is risky. No Aegis and the BKB is completed on PA. I think he just bought it, so it might not have been scouted out by OG. And this way he can run at the Dazzle and the Batrider might just have to use his ultimate on him. Not the best target because he's BKB'd, but it should be a good target if he needs to save his teammates.
As we can see that OG just with perfect composure here, really not wanting to force the issue unnecessarily. Still respecting that fact that, as you mentioned, Advenom with Madarus BKB, they can fight. They can hold back OG and they can make them pay for it. So OG just keeping all lanes pushed in, continuing to make sure that they are getting more out of the map than Advenom. We just have to wait and see when they do decide to turn that again into another attempt at breaking that high ground.
Advenom must feel so confined right now with the area that they can farm. It's just creeps with the hill, and now they're looking to expand that. Skylark at the reins with the smoke.
See what they can find here. They are heading straight towards their own jungle. Again, just a little bit off the mark in terms of trying to find members of OG. They're all towards the mid lane and above.
They're just desperately hoping that someone TP's down to that bottom tower to farm that wave.
Yeah, they really are. And at the moment, OG is just showing no signs of breaking up this very locked-in 5-man movement that they've kept up for the last 5 minutes at least or so.
Middle tower is under attack.
And it's scary as well because they could very well come back this way and find themselves walking into Advenom and could also get the jump themselves. MNT, he's in trouble. S4, he's going to spot him out, has the gem in hand, lays down an amplify, and OG will take themselves another 420 on the board. I mean, this is looking like such a tough game too for them, Ben.
Yeah, they might need a gem too to get rid of these Observer Wards on the immediate outside of their base.
Jax, he's just looking to continue the momentum. We'll jump in, we'll be countered immediately though by the Nyx Assassin. Falling low, Edmund's going to come in as well. Telekinesis holding him back. Spartan has the Stolen Crush to hold him underneath the tower. Esmond falling low, but again flies there with the heals. Matera, he's tried to jump in with the BKB, but they in turn, they've got enough damage to bring down the PA. And Matera's out for a minute. Does not have buyback.
That Silver Edge just ruined him. Draw Ranger was able to win that BKB war easily with no evasion.
Oak trying to come forward, no tail. She kind of very aggressively postured, but he's forced out. He's going to be fine, but we can expect to see OG just trying to push in as much as they can with that PA off the map.
They're having a hard time breaking these buildings, though.
I don't know. Could be in trouble. Thug will shove him away, so I guess the intention wasn't quite there to fight. Still just trying to keep OG away from being able to finish up any of these tier 3s and have the chance of getting a look in onto the base of Venom. But as we're seeing, Ben, it's just been, this Dazzle pick has been absolutely perfect for the way that the OG want to play. Every time a core jumps in and fly, he's always there with so much sustain, making it so hard for Advenom to punish any sort of aggressive play from OG.
And OG, they're like, usually you might like go in as Advenom like 2 for 1, but that's not going to happen with Dazzle. Normally you'd be okay with that because of track, but they're just not allowing any quarter to be given. And Aegis G's, Advenom nowhere in sight. Can they withstand this onslaught? I don't think so, but PA was actually very close to killing the Batrider at the start of the fight. All they need was like one quick decapitation like that early on in the fight with track, and they can stall another few minutes and wait for the PA to get a lot bigger. But DK getting his Silver Edge onto the PA is going to be a big factor in these fights.
They've got to be careful. They've come out again at Venom into the jungle of OG. Matera down towards the south. We are going to see OG head up towards OD. A lot of pings around that area. They know that Thug was trying to push out this top lane and immediately going for the TP out. S4 very close.
And his smoke pop, so they're going to spend some time over there.
Now they will be hunting for a bit. Jarax should give the clear though, and they'll realize that he's out of there. OG getting very close to finding these big heroes. Advenom had to be so careful of how they come out on the map at this stage, but at the same time, it's that they kind of have to. They can't allow themselves to be suffocated in the base.
Headed over towards the side shop.
Will MNT finally be able to find that courier sniper this game? No, it's just over the tree line. MNT will TP out.
He used his Windwalk to try and kill those neutral creeps. That's how desperate he is as a bounty hunter.
No tail with the completed E-Blade as well. Actually a bit of a defensive mechanism. Very nice to use against any sort of target that Matera jumps in upon.
He might be able to blow out the PA with that. He's sitting at like almost 200 agility.
His bottom tower is under attack.
Now Matera's got to be careful. Especially with how he utilizes the BKB, as you said. Trying to work it around that Silver Edge break hit. OG ready for another attempt on the high ground. Venom needs something absolutely huge. We need to see Thug start to rack up that stolen intelligence. Go for big sanities. Now we have it, jumping forward. Trying to build it up, and Anna actually comes in return, and in fact with the stun, the crush, the amplify, but they just smell Thug. He's out. Jerax comes in with the lasso onto Matera, pops the BKB, PA trying to fight for it all, jumps to fly, but flies braved himself. Matera can't quite finish off the fly kill. Multiple buybacks coming out from Advenom. They're trying their best to hold Skylark, ripped to pieces by No Tail. They need to find a kill on this, but at the moment OG just aren't dying. It's a dieback from Matera. OG just dominating so far in this series. It's going to be GG 27-4, game 2. Going the way of OG once again. And Ben, it really does seem so far that OG proving that they're on another level. I mean, it is a best of 5. Advenom could still look for that miracle run and get that